Hey everyone. So I'm at home and I wanted to make this video. It's funny, I made this video yesterday a couple times. My mom called several times while I was in the studio, and so I made it there, but I then brought everything home because I thought I'll just do it here, just to make the point. Anyways, I don't know how about you guys or everyone out there in the world. I seem to be vacillating. My emotions are like, do what's in front of me, everything's okay, and then like panic sets in. You're just like, okay, I gotta get out of the house and do something, or walk around, or make a video. Who knows? Anyways, I'm sort of in this like, it's just a high tension situation that we're in right now, and so I've been trying to figure out how to navigate that. Like I think most of you, I think I'm hearing a lot from people that, a lot of studios, community studios, group studios, co-ops, things are kind of shutting down for the next couple weeks. And so I kind of wanted to do a kitchen table studio. So I basically filled up a box of all my essential tools. My phone's leaning on a bag of clay at the moment, and I'll get to that in a second. But I kind of wanted to say this in this, like, what's going on. So it's funny, like I think we all like our studios are such a wonderful access for us, and there's usually a source of community and socializing and really important parts of our studio practice. Okay, so my cat's on the table, so we'll see how that goes. Anyways, and I just wanted to say, when I was first starting out, right after I got out of school, I basically just kept a box of tools and my banding wheel and a bag of clay in the back of my car because I had 3 different jobs that I would work. They were all like teaching adjunct type things, and I just ended up having to like be able to have my tools and everything with me. And I know a lot of people have those big, huge sacks and different kinds of what they put their tools in. When I'm traveling for work and stuff, or if I'm going to teach workshops, I put my tools in an envelope, and then I use whatever is handy at the studio. But if I had to, I'm kind of lucky at the moment. My studio is just me. Most of the time, I don't count that as lucky. I count that as somewhat lonely. But right now, I can still go to work and glaze all the pots. I'm still glazing. Anyway, so I just wanted to show you my essential tools here really quick. So just a box. This is a little bit bigger box than I would take normally, but I wanted to bring a few things, so I'll just sort of tell you what I got here. So I've got a bunch of roulettes, so that's just something that this is kind of an optional tool. But if you're making anything with texture, I think that's one of the really great things about hand building. Like for any of you throwers out there that rely on a wheel and rely on your studio for equipment, hand building is such a great thing because all you need is a corner of a table and some tools and clay, and you're good to go. And I think, I don't know about you, but I have to look at what's going on right now as kind of an opportunity to redefine how you structure your life and what is important. And if it's important for you to be creative, I think sometimes the hardest part is to get started. And so if you just get your tools out and get your clay out, you don't have to do anything, but it might be just enough to get you over the hump of getting started. And there's a lot of books out there. Even like you don't even have to buy the book; you could buy it online. All that sort of stuff right now is working along with what we're trying to figure out, and how to just sort of maintain our sanity, I think, a little bit. So anyways, okay, roulettes if you need them. Or if you have them, they're sometimes a fun thing to play with. I'm going to show you kind of the optional things. Templates, things like that. So I do a lot of footprints and things. So I start with slabs, and I cut that out, and then I build. This is a vase, like a really long windowsill vase I make. Trays, whatever kind of thing. Templates are great. It's also something you can make at home. We usually have a lot of cardboard laying around or different things. And this is kind of a perfect time for people to play a little bit and not be super attached to everything, but get your hands dirty, get out of your head a little bit. Okay, so now I think mostly everything's relatively, I find somewhat essential. So let's see what I got in my box. Rulers. A ruler is really handy, especially if you're cutting out slabs or making templates. I like clear rulers because I like to be able to see through them. I like this bendy one because then I can wrap it around pots, or it's just a little more flexible and easy to do. The numbers will wear off over time, but by the time the plastic is bad, kitty alert, cash off. Ugh, sorry. Anyways, okay. Rolling pin, and along with a rolling pin, you need something to roll out clay on. So to me, like a piece of drywall board or a piece of plywood, something like that that's going to release the clay. It's handy to just have like a little 2x2 square, 3x3, whatever you can sort of handle, that would make rolling things out. So just a rolling pin, and I like these pastry rolling pins, just because they're just less cumbersome. They're just easy duty. Okay, so to me, essential number one tool, banding wheel. Not everybody has one, I know. A Lazy Susan will work in a pinch. You can make them yourself if you go to the hardware store and get some stuff. But to me, like a banding wheel that spins and spins and spins is sort of essential. If mine broke, I'd go out and buy another one the same day. I have 3. I use the same. This little one is the one I use the most. I bought the other because I thought, oh, I'll be able to do so much more. Really, I use the one, and the other 2 sort of sit on the side. I think that one of them I'm using for glazing right now, but that's basically essential. For me, a sunshine stick's essential. I also have those on my website if anybody needs one. And along with that goes a cheese cutter. Okay. A dry brush is really handy. A lot of times if you're doing cutting or just getting up little bits of clay, the babies, they love boxes, so they're basically just want to know what's in the box. They're just handy to have. And also, if you're scoring and slipping, it's nice to have a smaller one of these. And I just use, exactly like in my glazing video, I just use the cheapy ones from the hardware store. They're great. I don't worry, I pay 75 cents or less than that for them, so I don't worry about it too much. Oh, the other thing, if you don't have a board or that's harder for you to find a place to lay out, a piece of canvas will work really well too. So just go ahead and, like some of us have that kind of stuff laying around. If you're a sewer, then you definitely have those types of things. Just let me get everything out and give the kitties a box. Okay, there you go. Anyways, okay. So my selection of ribs. So these are, to me, my essential ribs. This is the kind of what I will take with me on workshop trips. So a soft little rubber rib, a little round kidney rib intact. It's just a small one. This is like a cheapy rib that comes with your kit, and then I cut the bottom off. And this gives me another right angle. Like, this is one of my favorite ribs here too. It's more of a rigid. It's the green one. You can't really tell because of the clay. But it has that 90-degree angle. And so this has a bit of a 90-degree angle, but also just is a little bit more comfortable to hold, and it doesn't gouge the bottom as much. So those are my 4 ribs. Couple trim tools are really handy to have. Okay. And most of these I would never use. I use them only when I make garlic boxes. Okay. But they're handy. Okay. Shear form tool. And so for me, when I'm traveling around, I actually don't even know where it is anymore, but the little rubber handle that goes on this, it's like a hard rubber. I don't ever use it. I either use the flat planer type, so like the one that you get at the hardware store that's just like a palm planer, and then this guy, and it doesn't take up any space. It's easy to do. So a cutting implement, so an X-Acto blade, or this is like a scalpel kind of thing. I get these at crafts, I've seen them advertised as craft knives. I get them at clay studios and clay stores randomly. Needle tool, handy. A brayer, this for me is really good because I use it for making flanges or decorative skirts for things like on the pictures, stuff like that. So brayer is really handy. It's like a little mini rolling pin, right? My chop, if I need to stamp anything with my name. Then a scoring tool. Score. There's my paintbrush for slipping and scoring. It's just the tiny, skinniest one. And then I've got my wood knife. This is another one that I sell. This is like these two to me. If I forget these on at a workshop, I'm always like, ugh. I mean, I can survive, but they to me are like and this guy, actually all these things, and this one and my ribs. Those are the things I super need. And my cutting. It's like I need all of these. Anyways, we all love our tools. That's kind of the deal. Then and then just a real little cutoff wire. Can't really see it. Boom, boom, boom. Cutoff wire. And then this is just a little piece of drywall sandpaper, and it's super tiny. There's another one inside my little bowl of roulettes. But it is, for me, use this over the edges of, just finishing off edges of, lids, or taking off the sharp corners of things, like my flanges and stuff like that. So that is my essential sort of clay toolkit. You can see by me just even trying to be like, oh, I just only need this one. I actually need all of these, except for the ones I told you are somewhat optional. So that's kind of like your emergency home kit to keep making. I kind of, I think it's really important. I talked a little bit about it in the glaze demos, how do you keep yourself busy in this kind of this wild time that we've never experienced before? And, for me, I've been kind of racking my brain about how to be useful and how to have a sense of purpose right now. And also how to make ends meet. It's really scary times because, for most of us, at least in my little world of studio potters, we rely on income from selling pots or income from teaching workshops. For me, those are my two main revenue streams, and my workshops have been canceled or postponed. I'll say postponed, it's really hard right now to try to sell pots. I'm just not. I want everyone to take care of themselves and do what they can. So, selling work doesn't seem like a priority, even though financially it's a priority. But it's just life. It's one of those things. So, I try to be comfortable with the entrepreneurship of this life that I've chosen. But in times of crisis, it doesn't seem super important. But what I do think is important is us finding creative outlets and wrestling a little bit with our worry brain, and survival brain, and reining it back in to see what we have around us, what we can do. So I do have something in the works that I'm really excited about, and I'll probably make a video about that tomorrow, just to let you know. But I just wanted to wrap this up with the sort of clay essential tools, and you may be seeing me here at the kitchen table a little bit more for the videos. So anyways, I hope everybody is safe and well and hunkered down and trying to find the sunnier side of the street in this situation. So bye, everyone. Be well. Be safe.